competition is high. You have many drivers that are on the second or third year in the category. Many also with the same team that they raced the previous year. So they build a really good relationship already with their teams. We start with a bit of a disadvantage as Carlin didn't do the season last year. So we are a bit playing catch up. But I think our base is pretty good. Like I said, around 5-6. And we will only improve from there. You know, we have a much bigger margin of progression compared to the other teams. So yeah, I'm confident.
Tom Dillman membelah lintasan menuju yang terdepan. Seusai finish di urutan ke-9 dan 5 di seri pembuka Formula Renault 3.5 2015, laki-laki asli Prancis melesat ke 3 besar di Monaco. Start dari posisi 7, pembalap tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin memanfaatkan insiden antara Mathieu Vaxivière, Nick de Vries, dan Olivier Roland untuk naik ke urutan 3. Mempertahankan posisi hingga akhir lomba, Tom Dillman naik podium untuk pertama kalinya di musim 2015.
First podium for Jagonia Ayam in 3.5. Awesome result for Sean as well with first point in 7. So great day, big party tonight.
Memiliki kepercayaan diri tinggi selepas naik podium di Monaco, Tom Dillman membidik posisi lebih baik di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps di Belgia. Sanggupkah pembalap 26 tahun menaklukkan sirkuit dengan tikungan berkarakter sangat cepat?
Selamat sore Sports Lovers.
Kita ketemu lagi untuk Formula Renault 3.5 bersama saya Feliciano Haryanto
dan saya Hileni Hidranto, dan pastinya kita juga tidak hanya berdua saja di sini. So we are not here just the two of us. We have our very special guest.
Very special guest.
We have Alex Young.
How are you doing?
Doing good. You're doing good today?
Thank you for your time. Ya, ini adalah salah satu racer yang sudah pengalaman banyak sekali ya, karena dia juga sempat berlaga di Formula One. Tentunya pasti akan ngobrol lebih panjang lagi bersama Alex yang tidak hanya tentang pengalamannya dan juga analisanya, tapi juga kita akan melihat seperti apa analisanya mengenai seri ketiga kali ini untuk race kedua di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps di Belgia. Tapi sebelumnya tentunya
tunggu dulu, sabar dulu, karena ada informasi penting nih. Jadi untuk sports lovers di rumah yang ingin menangkan hadiah 1 juta rupiah, ini dipersembahkan oleh KFC. Jangan kemana-mana, nanti akan ada di akhir segmen. Tapi tunggu dulu, kita kasih tahu dulu nomornya kali ya. Langsung aja ya. Jadi nomornya adalah 536 50077 dan juga 536 53355. There you go.
Ya, jadi terus pantengin TV-nya, lihat perkembangan race-nya, karena ini semakin positif saja hasil yang diraih oleh tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin dengan dua racernya, yaitu Tom Dillman dan juga Sean Glyer, sang rookie di musim 2015 untuk Formula Renault 3.5 ini. Kemarin di race pertama, mereka dua-duanya berhasil finish. Kemudian juga Tom Dillman finish di posisi ke-6, itu berarti poin lagi untuk tim jagonya Ayam. Dan juga bagi Sean, sang rookie, akhirnya bisa finish juga meskipun harus hanya di posisi 15. Tapi starting grid untuk race kedua ini kita juga terus mengupdate untuk Anda nanti bersama Liliani dan juga Alex Young. Alex Young.
Alex Young, jangan sampai salah ya namanya.
Alex Young. Dan tentunya saudara, sebelum kita melihat ada kemarin di seri kedua,
dulu ya?
Betul. Ini adalah pertama kalinya driver tim jagonya Ayam Tom Dillman naik podium pada saat seri kedua di Monaco Monte Carlo, di mana ini adalah salah satu sirkuit yang sangat menantang bagi para pembalap. Seperti apa? Ini dia previewnya.
Race pertama seri ketiga Formula Renault 3.5 di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps, Belgia berlangsung hari Sabtu kemarin. Pembalap Indonesia dari tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin, Sean Glyer, memulai start dari posisi 17. Sean sempat masuk ke pit di awal balapan karena bersenggolan dengan pebalap lain di tikungan pertama yang mengakibatkan sayap depannya rusak. Sean pun tidak bisa memacu mobilnya dengan maksimal dan finish di urutan ke-15. Sementara itu rekan satu timnya Tom Dillman yang memulai start dari urutan ke-14 mampu tampil maksimal. Tom berhasil melewati beberapa pebalap depannya di tikungan pertama dan menyalip beberapa pebalap lagi untuk merebut posisi 6 dengan 8 poin. Pada race pertama ini gelar juara menjadi milik pebalap Lotus Mathieu Vaxivière. Menyusul pimpinan klasemen sementara Jazman Jafar dari Vortec Motorsport di tempat kedua dan Dean Stoneman dari Dams di peringkat ketiga.
Itu dia adalah hasil dari race pertama. Tom Dillman hanya finish di ke-6.
He finished in 6th, right?
Yes.
Tom Dillman, that's
Dillman
right.
finished
All right, hold on. So, we have a very special guest here. I want to know what you think about the first race yesterday.
It was a good race. You know, it was nice to see. Well, it was nice to see some overtaking happen. You know, World Series 3.5. There's been some criticism. Sometimes it's very hard to overtake, but there was some overtaking yesterday. I mean, a tough race for Sean, but you know, a good race for Dillman to finish 6th. So I'm very interested to see how today is. It's going to be very different. You know, yesterday we run the car low downforce, and today we run high downforce.
Oke. Jadi kalau untuk Renault 3.5 ini biasanya susah yang namanya overtaking itu ya. Tapi menurut dia untuk kali ini lumayan ada beberapa kejadian yaitu untuk overtakingnya. Jadi.
So, what do you think it's gonna be in the second race today? Is there like more overtaking?
I think overtaking might still be a bit tricky because it's got high downforce today. I mean, we'll go through the lap, what the track is like. I mean, all the drivers love driving here. It's a great track to drive. It's a real driver's circuit. But you still need a good car. If your car is not set up well here, you will struggle. But yeah, it will be a different challenge today because they run the high downforce.
Ya, dan ini memang Sport Motors memang strategi yang digunakan untuk race kedua ini rata-rata berbeda karena memang sudah menggunakan high downforce. Jadi terkecuali memang kalau bisa didukung sama mobil yang juga sangat luar biasa ya.
Iya, jadi katanya mobilnya settingannya juga udah harus bagus banget untuk kali ini.
Baru bisa overtaking dan menguasai atau mendominasi untuk sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps dan tentunya. At the first race, there's a comeback from Pazibier.
Yes.
Yeah, finished the first in first race. Before in the Monaco, you have to out because of the crash.
That's right.
So what do you think? And also there's a Jafar Jazman still at the second. So this is
Well, it's turning into a really interesting fight because you got Vazivier and Jazman Jafar and of course Dean Stoneman. They all 1, 2, 3 in the championship. They've all won races this year. So I think it's going to be. Well, it's still early in the championship, you know. We only had a third race weekend.
Yeah.
It definitely it's a good opportunity for one of them to try and stamp a bit of dominance over the other two. So I think it's really going to come down to these 3 drivers for the race win today.
So you think it's going to be a close call for these 3 racers?
Yes.
Wow.
So
Okay.
don't discount Dean Stoneman. I think he'll be very strong as well.
wah. Dan itu memang sebuah persaingan yang kuat dari 3 teratas ini. Tapi memang walaupun memang masih terlalu prematur ya, masih terlalu prematur kita menganalisa dari kekuatan 3 ini. Tapi memang ketiga ini memang semakin mendominasi untuk 10 besar, terlebih pada saat di 5 besar ataupun podium. Ini adalah nama-nama yang menjadi sorotan, yang tentunya juga harus menjadi incaran dari 2 driver kita dari tim jagonya Ayam Carlin. Kita akan kembali untuk analisa lainnya tentunya tentang sirkuit ini yang katanya ini dicintai oleh para driver.
Banyak sekali yang suka katanya.
Kita akan lihat kenapa sih dan juga memang apa serunya dari Spa-Francorchamps ini. Tentunya kita akan kembali setelah jeda, tetap di Kompas TV.
Berlokasi di tengah sirkuit Ardennes, Belgia, sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps bisa dikatakan sebagai salah satu sirkuit terindah di dunia. Lintasan bernama lengkap sirkuit The Spa-Francorchamps ini terletak di sebuah kota tua di Belgia Barat bernama Stavelot, Provinsi Lich. Sejak tahun 2007, Spa memiliki panjang lintasan 7,004 km yang terdiri dari 21 tikungan. Selama di World Series, Spa menjadi sirkuit yang memiliki lintasan terpanjang. Bahkan saat dibangun tahun 1920, trek ini memiliki panjang kurang lebih 15 km. Meski terkenal panjang, sirkuit ini juga terkenal berbahaya bagi pebalap. Sebab kontur lintasan yang naik turun membuat pebalap harus selalu waspada menjaga mobil agar selalu menapak di aspal. Selain kontur lintasan, cuaca lokal di hutan Ardennes juga mempengaruhi karakter sirkuit. Hujan deras dan terik matahari seringkali berganti merubah jalannya race menjadi sukar diprediksi. Hujan deras dan terik matahari seringkali berganti mengubah jalannya race menjadi sukar diprediksi. Apalagi di trek yang memiliki lintasan panjang seperti Spa, pebalap harus seringkali menapak di aspal kering dan basah. Selain faktor cuaca, Spa memiliki 2 tikungan yang sangat berbahaya bagi para pebalap Formula Renault. Yang pertama, tikungan La Source. Lintasan berbentuk hairpin akan memaksa pebalap menekan pedal rem dengan keras setelah memacu mobilnya di trek lurus. Kemudian setelah melewati La Source, pebalap akan disambut tikungan Eau Rouge yang merupakan kombinasi 3 tikungan yang memiliki perbedaan ketinggian. Di titik ini, pebalap akan mendapatkan blind spot yang sangat berbahaya jika lepas konsentrasi. Sejak tahun 2007, sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps telah menyelenggarakan World Series sebagai salah satu agenda resmi setiap tahunnya. Sejak itu pula lah, belasan pebalap World Series telah memenangkan race demi race di Spa, termasuk Carlos Sainz Jr. yang kini telah naik kelas ke Formula One.
Spa-Francorchamps, Belgia, salah satu sirkuit yang paling dicintai oleh para driver F1 dan juga Formula 3.5. Terus juga ini adalah sirkuit terpanjang di Formula dan juga sekaligus sirkuit terindah karena memang dibiarkan bukit-bukitnya naik turun. Itu berarti menantang bagi para driver, namun juga masih terlihat pemandangan yang indah karena masih rindang dengan hutan-hutan di sekitarnya.
Betul banget, kayaknya semua pada seneng ya kalau jadi racer di situ.
Yang seneng pastinya di sana ada rekan kita, Retno
iya
Lestari.
betul. Nah, untuk melihat situasi terkini dari sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps, Belgia, kami sudah terhubung dengan reporter Kompas TV, Retno Lestari. Hai Retno, silahkan dengan laporan Anda.
Di depan pit stop tim Jagonya Ayam with Carlin yang sekarang sedang bersiap-siap untuk turun di World Series by Renault Formula 3.5 di seri ketiga, yaitu di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps. Dan seperti yang Anda lihat di belakang saya, kru balapan dari tim Jagonya Ayam with Carlin sedang mempersiapkan diri, mempersiapkan kendaraannya untuk digunakan oleh kedua pembalapnya, yaitu Sean Gelay dan juga Tom Dillman untuk menuju ke starting grid. Dan pada hari kedua race ini akan dilaksanakan 40 menit ditambah 1 laps, dan para pebalap juga diharuskan untuk masuk 1 kali ke pit stop untuk mengganti ban. Dan sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps ini merupakan sirkuit favorit banyak pembalap single seater dari seluruh dunia karena karakteristiknya yang sangat menantang. Pebalap bisa memaksimalkan kecepatan mobilnya. Selain itu juga kontur dari sirkuit yang cukup unik, di mana sirkuit ini banyak terdapat turunan dan juga tanjakan serta tikungan yang landai yang membuat pebalap bisa memaksimalkan kendaraannya, dan juga lebarnya sirkuit bisa membuat para pebalap banyak mempunyai kesempatan untuk melakukan take over. Dan pada race pertama kemarin, Sean Gelay sempat bersenggolan dengan pebalap lain di tikungan pertama yang mengakibatkan sayap depannya rusak. Begitu pula juga dengan Tom Dillman yang sempat mengalami masalah serupa di sesi kualifikasi pertama. Dan sirkuit Spa ini memang sirkuit dikenal sebagai sirkuit yang sangat kompetitif sehingga rawan insiden dan kemungkinan keluarnya safety car untuk mengawal balapan akan sangat besar. Ditambah lagi juga cuaca yang tidak menentu membuat balapan di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps semakin menantang. Dengan panjang sirkuit sekitar 7 km, sangat memungkinkan ada trek yang kering dan juga ada bagian lain yang diguyur hujan. Dan cuaca saat ini cukup mendung dengan suhu sekitar 16 derajat Celcius, dan mudah-mudahan cuaca akan tetap baik dan tidak akan turun hujan sehingga para pebalap bisa memaksimalkan kendaraannya. Baik Tom Dillman maupun Sean Gelay cukup berpengalaman di sirkuit ini. Dan dengan kemampuannya, Tom Dillman kemarin pada race pertama sempat melakukan start dari posisi 14 dan kemudian mampu finish di urutan ke-6. Sementara rekan satu timnya, Sean Gelay, pernah punya pengalaman manis di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps, di mana pada ajang Formula 3 British tahun lalu, Sean Gelay berhasil naik podium. Dan kesempatan keduanya untuk kembali mendulang poin sangat terbuka lebar, mengingat pada seri sebelumnya kedua di Monaco lalu, baik Tom maupun Sean bisa meraih poin. Tom Dillman finish di urutan ketiga dan naik podium, sementara Sean Gelael mendapatkan poin pertamanya setelah finish di urutan ke-8. Dan saat ini para pebalap sedang mempersiapkan diri dan juga para penonton saat ini sangat ramai sekali karena memang para penonton di World Series ini boleh memasuki area pit stop. Seperti Anda lihat di layar, para penonton diperbolehkan untuk masuk menuju area pit stop dan juga menuju area starting grid. Dan ini menjadi show tersendiri bagi balapan World Series yang berbeda dengan balapan lainnya. Dan demikian laporan dari sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps, kita kembali ke studio.
Oke.
Terima kasih Retno. Wah, seru banget ya kayaknya ya kalau udah ada di Belgia sana. Dan nggak cuma itu aja, tadi yang lebih seru lagi, jadi para penonton boleh masuk ke starting grid.
Nah, tenang aja, buat yang Indonesia ada yang nggak kalah seru karena kita juga ada yang bisa ikutan nonton bareng. Ini ada di Jogja, untuk Anda yang di kota Jogja ataupun yang di Jakarta, tepatnya di Margonda, Depok. Kita akan terhubung dengan dua rekan kami, ada Rahel di Yogyakarta dan juga Ratri. Pertama kali kita ke Rahel dulu di Yogyakarta dan juga para Gelaelais di sana. Silakan Rahel, laporan Anda.
Terima kasih Hiliani dan Feli. Saat ini saya sudah berada di KFC Store Sudirman, Kota Yogyakarta. Dan saya sudah bersama dengan para Gelaelais yang ada di sini sudah siap untuk nobar World Series Formula Renault 3.5 bersama KFC yang tentu saja akan disiarkan langsung oleh Kompas TV. Dan nobar ini merupakan bentuk dukungan dari Gelaelais yang ada di sini untuk mendukung Sean Gelael dan Tom Dillman bersama tim jagonya Amit Carlin yang akan melakoni seri ketiga tepatnya di sirkuit Francorchamps. Dan para Gelaelais di sini sangat antusias dan semangat. Dan selain nonton bareng, para Gelaelais di sini juga akan dihibur oleh penampilan dari Mike Mohede dan juga penampilan dari Stand Up Comedy Indonesia. Dan bagi Anda yang tertarik untuk datang, silakan saja karena banyak sekali door prize yang ditawarkan oleh pihak penyelenggara untuk para Gelaelais yang udah nonton di sini. Dan sebelum saya lempar ke Jakarta, saya akan cek sound dan memperlihatkan semangat yang diperlihatkan oleh para Gelaelais yang ada di sini. Gelaelais! Maju tak gentar. Wah, itu dia pemirsa bagaimana kemeriahan yang ada di sini. Dan langsung saja kita ke Jakarta karena rekan saya Ratri Kartika punya laporan langsung dari KFC di Margonda, Depok. Silakan Ratri.
Tidak hanya dari Jogja saja, namun Jakarta juga tidak kalah ramai di sini. Karena bisa dilihat di KFC Margonda Depok, Jakarta telah dipenuhi oleh dari ratusan pendukung Gelaelais yang akan mendukung tim jagonya Ayam Berkalin yang sedang berlaksi dari World Series Formula Renault 3.5 di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps, Belgia. Dan seperti apa dukungan mereka? Mereka mendukung melalui nonton bareng World Series Formula Renault 3.5 sendiri. Dan di sini mereka juga akan disajikan tidak hanya nobar saja, namun juga ada performance dari artis ibu kota, dari Andi dan juga berbagai hadiah yang akan dibagikan. Kita tes bagaimana semangat mereka mendukung tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin dari KFC Margonda Depok. Oke, kita tes semangat kalian yang ada di sini. Gelaelais, Gelaelais, maju tak gentar. Oke, bagus sekali. Ya, Iliani dan Felis, semangat dari sini semoga sampai ke Spa-Francorchamps Belgia ya. Kembali ke studio.
Terima kasih Ratri dari Margonda, Depok, Jawa Barat, dan juga tentunya ada Rahel tadi sebelumnya di Yogyakarta dan Retno yang sangat beruntung sekali melaporkan langsung di Spa-Francorchamps. Dan tentunya ini adalah bentuk dukungan daripada rakyat Indonesia untuk para driver dan juga tim dari Indonesia yang lagi berlaga di seri ketiga untuk Formula Renault 3.5.
Dan kalau kita lihat dari nobar tadi kayaknya udah seru banget, udah rame banget. Jadi untuk yang di rumah, jangan cuma di rumah aja, lebih seru lagi kalau nonton rame-rame ya kan?
Betul.
Jadi mendingan langsung datang.
Ekspresi rame-rame, teriak rame-rame, mendukung rame-rame. Karena masih ada kesempatan untuk Anda, hanya dalam hitungan menit lagi kita akan memulai untuk live race ya. Rencananya live race akan dimulai pukul 18.30 waktu Indonesia Barat. Dan tentunya kita masih bersama Alex Young. Man, first we see about this character of circuit Spa. Drive a lot, is it? But this one is the most longest and the most more overtaking happens in here.
Well, yes. I mean, what makes Spa special? Well,
Yeah.
it's 7 kilometers long, but it's because it's got a very good rhythm to it. There's a lot of fast corners. A lot of circuits these days, a lot of modern circuits these days have a lot of slow corners. It's like driving in a car park, most tracks. This one's not. This one's very fast and flowing, so drivers really enjoy driving it. And uniquely for it is that you actually can overtake on the circuit because there are some long straights. So we have had very good races here in the past.
Ya,
Oke.
konfirmasi dari Alexin yang juga sudah beberapa kali berlaga di sirkuit ini memang ya para pebalap mencintai sirkuit ini, panjang dan bisa menunjukkan tajinya dan bisa kebut-kebutan, namun didukung dengan lebarnya sirkuit dan juga tikungan-tikungan yang sangat mendukung untuk overtaking juga. Ada beberapa titik yang tricky namun seru untuk mendahului para pebalap
Ya itu
lainnya.
dia kalau misalnya dari gambar saja mungkin orang mikirnya nggak mungkin bisa overtaking sih sebenarnya. Cuman kalau menurut dia bisa-bisa aja. Itu yang penting itu kan seberapa pinternya sih racer-racernya itu bisa memanfaatkan spot-spotnya.
It's a bit tricky, but about the experience in this, our teams, especially for Sean, he already 3 times, but with Formula 3, but the first time in this Formula 3.5. So, what do you think of his chance?
I mean, Sean, as you know, he did Formula 3 before. He's had some good results in the past. This series should suit him more because the car's a lot bigger, a lot more powerful. But it's also a very tricky championship. So you need to have some experience. You know, this is only his 3rd race weekend. So you have to give him some time to get on top of it. You know, Jasmine Jafar, who's leading the championship right now, this is his 4th year, 3.5 year in World Series. So you need to take time to understand the championship. But if you do well in this championship, you go to Formula 1. You know, don't forget Carlos Sainz Jr. won the championship last year. He's now in Formula 1. The year before that was Kevin Magnussen. He won it, and now he's in Formula 1. Well, it wasn't Formula 1.
But it takes a bit more time for Sean because this is his first year, right? Nah, itu memang seperti yang Alex juga bilang bahwa Formula 3.5 adalah salah satu jalan untuk para driver naik tingkat ke mobil Formula 1.
Untuk naik kelas ya.
Naik kelas ke sana. Tapi memang walaupun Sean berpengalaman 3 kali dan bahkan sempat naik podium di sirkuit Spa, namun ini akan berbeda karena kecepatan dan kekuatan yang berbeda dan tentunya juga mobil yang lebih besar. Ini juga butuh kesabaran, butuh pengalaman yang lebih banyak lagi bagi Sean. Ya, dari race pertama dia sudah bisa belajar, dari kualifikasi juga yang sempat tabrakan tadi bisa belajar dari situ. Namun banyak dukungan bagi Sean ya.
Banyak dukungan, salah satunya dari dosennya. Jadi tahu nggak ya untuk sports lovers di rumah, kemarin itu sebelum race pertama, Sean ini harus ngambil tes dulu. Tetep loh, jadi dosennya datang ke sirkuitnya dan untuk melakukan tes. Jadi yang namanya education itu, yang namanya pendidikan itu sangat penting banget untuk Sean dan terbukti.
Oke, dia masih bisa memanage itu.
Iya.
Oke, let me ask you something. This is maybe out of the race. How important is education for the racer? As I know that Sean is only one in a few drivers that do to focus driving, racing, and also studying in university.
Yes, drivers who try and do that, because I have drivers in the past who have done education, even become doctors and still become drivers. But you must remember that it's a lot of work to do. So it takes longer, you know. Drivers who pursue education and driving, they take a little bit longer to get on top of the driving. The guys who go to Formula 1 at 17 or 18 or 19, they stop studying at 50. You know, all they do is race every day. You know, so it takes longer now. You know, when you have the education, you have to bear that in mind. Having said that, all drivers, they might not need an education, but they need an analytical mind. You know, be able to think logically and work out, because it's very important to get the most out of the car. If you cannot think like that, it's very hard.
Jadi yang namanya pendidikan untuk racers sebenarnya penting juga, tapi ya itu dia yang tadi bilang, untuk racers yang mungkin fokusnya terbelah menjadi 2, pendidikan dan juga racing, waktunya akan memakan lebih lama aja sih untuk nantinya masuk ke F1, ya kan? Tapi nggak apa-apa, it's fine, ya kan?
Tergantung bagaimana manajemennya, mengorganisasinya, karena sebuah keuntungan, karena ini adalah setelah race ini adalah terakhirnya bagi Sean untuk kuliah ya, karena kemarin udah tes kan.
Ya.
It means dia libur kuliah sampai dengan September.
Berarti bisa fokus.
Tapi tetap menurut Alex bahwa driver juga butuh pendidikan karena tidak hanya ketajaman dalam racing tapi juga butuh analisa di sana.
Ya.
Karena sirkuit yang dihadapi berbeda-beda, cuaca dan juga keadaan yang berbeda-beda, tantangannya juga pastinya berbeda ya.
Iya.
Dan tentunya Sport Lovers, kita akan mengenal lebih jauh seperti apakah sirkuit dari Spa-Francorchamps ini dari tikungan ke tikungan. Ini merupakan salah satu sirkuit terpanjang ya di Formula Renault 3.5 ini. Nanti Hiljani bersama Alex yang akan menganalisanya ya. Tentunya seusai jeda tetap di Kompas TV.
Tim jagonya ayam Whit Carlin mau terbang lebih tinggi. Setelah Tom Dillman dan Sean Glyle finish di urutan ketiga dan ke-8 di Monaco, Duta Indonesia mau posisi lebih baik di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps, Belgia. Sean Glyle yang pernah merasakan lintasan berkarakter sangat cepat Francorchamps saat bertarung di Formula 3, optimistis menuai hasil maksimal.
Pretty confident di Spa, keempat kali saya di Spa di sini. Memang 3 kali sebelumnya pakai mobil F3, tapi ya it's a amazing feeling untuk drive a bigger car di World Series di Spa. It's you know why people love Spa jadinya. Jadi ya benar-benar apalagi back to back dari Monaco ke Spa, jadi 2 kali. I think it's an amazing opportunity for us.
Sementara itu Tom Dillman yang naik podium pertamanya di musim 2015 berharap mencatat hasil serupa dan menikmati lomba sejak awal balapan.
It's for everybody, every driver, it's one of their favorite track. It's awesome to drive here, especially in a fast car like a World Series. So really enjoying it, and hopefully tomorrow I can enjoy it from the front.
Sebelumnya di race pertama, Tom Dillman masuk garis finish di urutan ke-8. Sementara Sean Glyle di posisi ke-15. Sanggupkah dua pebalap tim jagonya ayam Whit Carlin menorehkan hasil lebih baik di kesempatan kedua?
Ya Sport Lovers, kalau sekarang ini kita akan langsung menganalisa karakteristik dari sirkuit Spa. Nah pastinya ada seseorang yang udah pernah bertanding berlaga di sirkuit ini. Langsung aja Alex, alright, are you ready? We're gonna talk about the circuit, everything about it, especially for you, because you already know the circuit. You've been there, you know every little thing. So let's start right now.
Well, let's start with dividing the track into 3 sectors. Just dividing into 3 sectors. This is the start-finish line, as you can see there.
Oh wait, let me do that. Okay, jadi, so this is the run 3, and track length is 7 kilometers.
That's right.
21 turns or 19 turns? I guess it's 21 turns.
21 turns is correct.
All right. So let's do. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so it's divided into 3 sectors, and this is the start-finish line.
Yes.
So the second, from here to here, that's the end of the first sector.
Okay.
And then the second sector is from here to here. So as you can see, then the third sector is up to the start-finish line. Now, the first sector and the last sector are very fast, long straights, so it's all about top speed.
Okay.
The second sector, though, is all about these tight, twisty corners, which make the track so fun to drive. A lot of very fast-flowing corners. But I want to talk first about this part of the track, because this is part of the track called Eau Rouge.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it a smiley face. Because it's so much fun.
Okay, hold on, tunggu.
Sorry.
1 second. Oke, jadi untuk lovers di rumah, untuk sports lovers di rumah, jadi untuk sirkuit ini dibagi menjadi 3 sektor. Untuk sektor pertama dari finish line sampai sini, yang kedua adalah sini, dan yang ketiga di sini. Jadi yang menurut dia yang lebih menyenangkan adalah sektor kedua. This is more fun, right?
Yes.
Sektor kedua lebih fun karena banyak tikungan-tikungan. Tapi untuk sektor yang pertama dan sektor ketiga itu banyak it is very fast, ya. Yeah. Banyak yang lurus dan kecepatan tinggi sekali untuk 1 dan 3. Di sektor 1 ada satu tikungan, or it's a corner that it's very famous.
Yes, this is called Eau Rouge,
Eau Rouge.
and it's considered the best corner in the world.
the best corner in the world. Jadi ini tikungan paling keren.
Yeah.
Paling keren, tapi katanya I heard this is more the most dangerous corner.
Yes.
Why is
If you have accident there, because it's very high speed.
Yes.
If you have accident there, you can wake up in hospital. I've done it before as well.
It actually happened to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is it? Okay, you come out of turn 1, and by the time you get to here, Eau Rouge, you're doing 270 kilometers per hour. And the corner is very steep down and then very steep up.
Okay.
But you do not lift from full throttle. You are full throttle, 270 kilometers per hour, down into the corner, the car bottoms out, and then when it comes back up the top, the car gets very light. So it's like going through a roller coaster.
Oke. Jadi untuk corner yang ini sangat tricky sekali karena harus dilakukannya dengan kecepatan tinggi. Dan ini juga tikungannya sangat tajam sekali dari ke bawah langsung ke atas lagi. Dan biasanya kecepatannya adalah 270 km. 270. Jadi kebayang sekali saat tikungan yang tinggi dan sangat tajam itu. Kalau menurut Alex ini seperti roller coasters.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Okay.
But you have to be full throttle here.
Okay.
Even though it feels scary, you have to be full throttle because if you're not full throttle, you are going to be slowed down this straight and people will overtake you.
So you can't slow down at all?
You cannot. You must be full throttle. So, if you do this corner at 270 kilometers per hour, by the time you get to here, you're doing just under 300 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
Before braking for turn 5. Now, this section, although we see a very large part, sector 1, sector 3 is very far and long, there's a lot of circuit. If you want a quick lap time, sector 2 is where you must be fast.
Okay, so this is the important section right here. Oke, jadi kalau mau cepat atau mau menyusul, sebenarnya yang paling penting adalah di sektor 2. Alright, if we talk about overtaking, how many spots are there in the circuit?
For overtaking spots, really, you cannot do it in sector 2.
Oh, you can't
so
do it. Alright.
This is the tricky thing. If you want to be fast lap time,
Yes.
if you want your lap time to be fast, you must be quick through sector 2.
Okay.
But you cannot overtake in sector 2. So what the teams often do is they try and run as little downforce as possible. So they're fast in a straight line so that they can overtake here at the end of sector 1 or here halfway through the third sector.
Jadi kalau untuk lap time-nya mau cepat sebenarnya harus pinter-pinteran di sektor 2 ini. Tapi kalau untuk nyusul malah tidak bisa. Jadi untuk overtaking malah tidak bisa di sektor 2. Jadi 2 spots for overtaking, 2 spotnya adalah right here and right here.
Yes.
Okay, alright. So I guess we can say there are plenty of overtaking opportunities or not really?
There are. There should be. We should see quite a bit of overtaking today, and also we have a pit stop today as well.
Yes.
So the tactics and the strategy is all going to be very important. And this is where I was talking about. You know, for a driver, you need to have a very technical mind because you need to factor in all these things to adjust the setup of the car. Do you make the car fast for sector 2, or do you make the car fast for sector 1 and 3 where you can overtake?
Okay.
So making these decisions are very key for the drivers.
Oke, jadi untuk driversnya juga banyak harus membuat keputusan yang pinternya seperti apa. Apakah harus cepat di sektor 2 atau harus cepat di sektor 1 dan 3. Oke, alright. So, this is Tom Dillman. He's getting ready, of course.
Yep. Now Tom is 5th in the championship right now, so he's doing quite well in the championship. I think really it's still early days, but anyone in the top 6 in the championship can win it this year.
All right, for Tom Dillman, what do you think his chances are for today's race?
Well, he starts in 8th position, so it's going to be quite tough. This is Rudzev, it's a Russian driver.
Yep.
A lot of good Russian drivers coming through. And this is Fantin from Brazil.
Yes.
Fantin's been around a couple of years. He's pretty decent as well.
So he's not a new kid on the block then.
He's
He's been a while.
But I would like to see one driver I forgot to mention at the top of the show.
Okay.
Is Oliver Rowland.
Oliver Rowland. Okay.
He's actually 3rd in the championship. He starts in pole position.
Okay.
So
a good chance for him to win today, or?
Yes, because he's trying to fight against this guy, Jasmine Jafar, who's leading the championship. But Jasmine Jafar
Starting
starts
on the
4th.
20th. Oh.
He starts in 4th.
Okay.
So if you look further up, you can see just ahead of him, Nick De Vries in 3rd position. In 2nd place is Elinas, who is actually a rookie, doing a good job. And on the far left is Oliver Rowland, who is actually Jasmine Jafar's teammate. Now, with Jasmine in 4th, Dean Stoneman in 6th, and Vaxivier in 5th. If Roland can win today, he has a good opportunity to put some more points against his other championship contenders. So it's going to be a very interesting race here. It's really down to Oliver Roland to try and make a big gap in the championship, try and get some good points because his championship rivals are just
Okay, so it's going to be interesting for him.
It is going to be interesting. The start is very important here. There is obviously the start is always important.
Yes. Selalu penting awal.
Yes.
Poin awal.
Now the drivers are ready to go to the green flag lap. So this is the warm-up lap.
Okay. So they're doing the warm-up lap right now.
It's not the start of the race.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone goes off slowly, and you can see the different wing sizes. See, this guy's got a much smaller wing than the guy at the back. So the smaller wing means he's going to run less downforce. Means he's going to be very quick in sector 1 and sector 3, but very slow in sector 2. So he's hoping he can do some overtaking.
Oke, jadi sayap yang berbeda juga punya arti yang berbeda. Jadi kalau sayap kecil berarti mereka akan ngebut sebenarnya di sektor 2.
Yeah. This is Eau Rouge.
Oh, okay. So this one.
This is the famous corner that everyone loves to drive.
The dangerous corner.
The dangerous corner.
Did you like it or not?
I loved it.
You loved it, even though
Yeah.
you were
Even
not.
So here's the grid. Oliver Roland on pole, Theo Ilinas second, Nick de Vries third, Jasmine Jafar fourth, Dean Stolman is in 5th here, Nicholas Latifi is 7th. Oh, I missed him. But here a couple other guys a bit further back.
We have a female racer.
Yes, Pizza Visser, a Dutch driver. She's actually very good, you know.
Oh, okay.
It'd be interesting
So
to
her
see
performance so far is
maybe
good.
she make Formula 1. They got Sean in 15th.
Yes.
Right now. And look further back here, in 17th position, Roberto Mehi. Roberto Mehi is a Formula 1 driver. He's doing Formula 1 and, oh look, okay, we've missed that. Jasmine Jafar's been put to the back of the grid.
20.
He starts 20th, we don't know why yet. So there must be a penalty for Jasmine. So the championship leader starting 20th is a disaster for him. Let's try and find out why that's happened. But yes, not a good thing. See, Oliver Roland's running a lot less wing than everyone else. If you can look at the rear wing of these cars, you see Oliver Roland, the rear wing looks a lot smaller than these guys,
Yes.
2 and 3. So he sets the car up for low downforce, which means he's going to be very hard to overtake because he'll be very fast down the straight, but he'll be very slow in the corners. So this is now coming to the end of sector 2. There's Nick de Vries. Nick de Vries is actually a very interesting driver. He in karting was untouchable. A little bit like Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is a Formula 1 driver now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually a driver to look out for the future as well. Actually, if he does well this year, I can see him in Formula 1. So coming to the end of the formation lap, this is now going through Blanchimont. Blanchimont is the second fastest corner on the track. Again, it's flat out at about 220 km per hour. You see, if you look on the right here, there's a lot of escape road. There's a lot of Spa's a lot safer than it used to be.
Very spacey.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like a lot of runoff area. In the old days, they didn't have the runoff area. So these fast corners, if you made a mistake, you're in for a very big crash. But now it's a lot safer these days. That's why I say everyone loves it. Yes, you can have like big accidents here still, but it's not as scary as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Oke, kalau begitu langsung kita menyaksikan ini dia live race 2 seri 3 Formula Renault 3.5 bersama Feliciano dan Alex Yoong. Selamat menyaksikan.
Oke, terima kasih Heliani dan saudara, kita sudah memasuki di mana para driver sudah baru saja melakukan lap pemanasan. And I'm so with Alex Yoong here, and this time we have an update grid. There's an Jasmine Jafar has to start at the bottom. Yeah.
And we're just trying to find out what the penalty is for. But that's a disaster for Jasmine because he's going to struggle to get back into the points. This field is too competitive.
Okay, here comes.
Red lights are out, all 5 are lit, and the race starts. Race has started.
Okay.
Good start by Oliver Roland, but he's been pressured by Nick de Vries into turn 1.
Start yang baik dari Oliver Rowland, masih mempertahankan untuk memimpin jalannya race, dan kita lihat ada beberapa driver yang harus keluar lintasan di tikungan pertama ini memang tricky, di mana di sini ada dua driver kita antara Tom Dillman dan juga Sandra Sekiatan dan
Nick De Vries got a run on Dillman. He's in the slipstream and he's got a nice thin wing at the wheel. Oh! I hope that's not punctured Dillman.
Ini sempat banget Dillman, dan baru saja ada ban bagian belakang Tom Dillman bersentuhan dengan salah satu driver di belakangnya, dan tampaknya ini dapat berpengaruh. As we can see, Dillman is getting slower.
He has a puncture.
Ada kerusakan tampaknya, saudara.
So they have to try and get back to the pits to try and do that pit stop now.
Ya, dan kita lihat saat ini posisi Dillman harus mundur sampai dengan ke posisi 13.
Back at the front, Oliver Rowland managed to hold off Nick De Vries and is leading the race.
Ya, Nick De Vries memimpin di posisi pertama, mendahului Oliver Rowland yang tadi start dari pole position, saudara. Dan di posisi ketiga ada Dean Stoneman, followed by Alinas, and also Matthew Vazivier on the 5th place.
So, see all settling down to this first corner, and look at that. Olivier Rowland is actually pulling out a good gap. He's very quick to the second sector compared to Nick De Vries, which is good news for him, because he can keep producing these laps and make it very hard for the others to follow. There's the positions right now. Stoneman in third, Alinas in fourth.
Dan baru saja Anda menyaksikan update dan di mana Oliver Rowland yang menunjukkan performa bagusnya di lap pertama, saudara, memberikan gap cukup besar untuk posisi kedua Nick De Vries. Apabila dia bisa konsisten mempertahankan ini, tentunya dia bisa menguasai untuk lap-lap tercepat dan mempertahankan posisi Nick De Vries.
Well, Vaxivier will be quite pleased with this, because Vaxivier is actually, you just saw the onboard stuff with him. He's actually second in the championship right now. And with Jasmine Jafar so far behind him, he looks set to take championship lead as his battle now. That's Jasmine Jafar going down the inside.
Already 10.
Yeah, he's up to 10. What a great first lap by Jasmine Jafar. The championship leader is up to 9th now.
Ya, pemimpin klasemen sementara Jasmine Jafar yang harus start dari posisi paling bontot tadi, saudara, di posisi 12. Sekarang di lap pertamanya yang cukup luar biasa, mampu maju menguasai sirkuit sampai dengan sekarang memimpin di posisi ke-10.
A hugely impressive first lap as he's now defending from 10th position Max Van Brooten, and he defends quite nicely. You can see there the big difference. That Van Brooten in the Lotus car had the slipstream, but he's got the big rear wing on his car, whereas Jasmine Jafar has a small, tiny rear wing. So whenever Van Brooten pulled out of the slipstream, he couldn't have the top speed to overtake. As Tom Dillman now comes in to change both 2 tires.
Dan ini adalah Tom Dillman yang terpaksa harus masuk ke pit stop karena terjadi insiden tadi di lap pertama, saudara. Dan as we can see,
the tires shredded. But let's hope there's no more damage to the floor of the car. There's no more damage to the floor of the car. He might be able to produce some safety laps. All is not lost. If there is a safety car at some stage, maybe he can make some progress. But if there's no safety car, it's going to be very tough for him to catch up.
Ya, akan menjadi berat bagi Tom Dillman yang tadi sebenarnya pada saat start mampu mempertahankan posisinya, namun terkena insiden. Akan semakin sulit apabila tidak ada terjadi safeguard di sini. Dan kita sekarang melihat bagaimana tayangan ulang untuk pada saat start dari lap pertama tadi. Dan ada beberapa insiden terjadi di tikungan pertama ini.
Stoneman had a good start there, and he was very smart not to not let De Vries come down the inside. Further back, you can see the starts coming here. Look at Jasmine Jafar. Look at the silver car coming from the back. He didn't actually make that great a start, but he just overtook a lot of cars in that first lap. Oh, here's a good position from who started? I think this is
Vaxivier.
Yeah. He got pushed out into turn 1 at the exit of turn 1. This should have let another car get past him, and that's the incident with Tom Dillman. One of the other cars shredding his front wing on the rear tire of Tom Dillman. And here's a shot from Jasmine Jafar. See, he didn't get a very good start, but look at this. Through turn 1, he must have made a lot of places. No, nice and steady. Oh, it seems, I know what happened here. A lot of the other cars ran wide through turn 1, and he would have gone back down the inside. So he probably, I bet you would have overtaken 3 or 4 cars into that first corner. And there's Jasmine Jafar making another overtaking maneuver. He's now up to 8th.
Ya, overtaking lagi dari seorang Jasmine Jafar yang sekarang is going in 7th position.
7th position now. He's very, very impressive. I've watched Jasmine Jafar drive for many years, and this is now his 3rd year in World Series, and that's probably the best first lap I've seen him do. He'll be very pleased with that. A lot of his fans have been urging him on. Very good racing, attacking drive by the young Malaysian.
Ya, sejauh ini penampilan impresif ditunjukkan oleh sang pemimpin klasemen sementara Jasmine Jafar yang tadi pada saat start dari posisi terakhir sekarang mampu maju ke posisi ke-7. Namun juga PR bagi driver dari tim jagonya yang Carlin, Tom Dillman, yang harus mundur karena terkena insiden dengan pembalap lainnya tadi, saudara. Dan saat ini Oliver Rowland still leading, masih memimpin di posisi pertama, diikuti oleh De Vries dan juga Dean Stoneman.
Yeah, so Rowland's pulling out a gap, 1.8 seconds now over De Vries. I've now got the news why Jasmine was disqualified. He originally qualified 4th, but a discrepancy with the attachment of the wooden part of his floor was found after qualifying. So they put him to the back of the grid.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know what it was that was wrong with the car, but there's nothing wrong with the car now, as he's now back up to 7th position.
Oke, dan memang kenapa Jasmine Jafar harus start dari posisi terakhir karena diskualifikasi, ada ditemukan what you can find
the floor of the car was probably something was wrong with it, maybe
ada yang
damage.
salah dengan mobilnya dan harus didiskualifikasi, namun dia masih bisa menunjukkan tajinya di sirkuit Francorchamps, saudara. Dan saat ini kita melihat adalah dari Vazivier yang tadi masuk dalam 3 besar di grid, namun sekarang hanya mampu di posisi ke-5.
I love these onboard shots as you watch the cars go through there. Nice and easy, no damage through there. They're all, it's car number 18, which is, Panis. Olivier Panis' son. Ex-Formula 1 driver is his father. Won Monaco in Formula 1 many years ago.
Yeah.
So he's now up to 10th. Good move by him. But Stoneman's now stretching out his advantage. Well, not too bad. Actually, it's kind of stabilized. Nick De Vries actually pulled it back a bit. He's 1.6 seconds behind Stoneman. So the gap has stabilized. Who knows? Maybe these two cars, De Vries and in 3rd place, Dean Stoneman, can close up the gap to Oliver Rowland.
Ya, kita merekap sedikit untuk sampai dengan lap kali ini, saudara. Di sisa waktu 32 menit untuk race kali ini, Oliver Rowland masih memimpin, bahkan semakin membuat lebar gap antara Rowland dan juga posisi kedua De Vries, dan juga ada Dean Stoneman di posisi ketiga, dan juga Elinas di keempat, Vazivier pada posisi 5, Jasmine Jafar right now at the 6th position. Wow.
Great drive.
Dan juga Vantin on the 7th position, Oruzev di 8, Van Buren di posisi 9, 10 ada Panis, dan I don't know, Tom Dillman because of the pit stop. So saat ini Tom Dillman hanya mampu di posisi ke paling akhir, saudara, akibat insiden tadi. Namun dia terus melanjutkan race-nya untuk mengejar finish di kali ini. So Tom Dillman is depending on the safe car for his chance to go on board.
I think so. Only a safety car can save him because he'd have lost too much time. As we watch Vaxivier go through Eau Rouge, full throttle, no lifting there. So Dillman's in for a very lonely race at the moment. Now let's just think about the pit stops. You see, these cars behind have all got quite high wings compared to Oliver Rowland, who's running very skinny wing. So it's going to be very hard to overtake Oliver Rowland on track. So what these guys might try and do is try and pit early. Try and pit before Oliver Rowland, put some new tires on, and maybe try and overtake him in the pits.
Ya, ini adalah sebuah trik yang seharusnya dilakukan para driver lainnya untuk menyusul Oliver Rowland, karena memang sayap yang digunakan saat ini adalah lebih tinggi dibandingkan Oliver Rowland. Downforce jauh lebih besar bagi Oliver Rowland. Jadi sebaiknya seperti yang disarankan oleh Alex yang tadi, bahwa seharusnya driver masuk lebih dulu ke pit stop sebelum Oliver Rowland kalau memang ingin mengejar sang pemimpin yang semakin memperlebar jarak waktu.
And as we talked about it, look at that. It's one of the teams, it's the Lotus team preparing for pit stop. Now, is it for Vaxivier or is it for his teammate?
I think it's one for Van Buren. Ya.
Let's see what happens.
Ya, kita akan lihat apakah memang tim dari Van Buren yang akan terlebih dahulu masuk ke pit stop untuk mengatasi Oliver Rowland. dari tim Lotus ini, Sport Lovers.
So come around the end of the lap. Let's see if could it be for Stoneman. Actually, no. He's going through the last corner. Top 3 cars are not pitting. I'm sorry, wrong cars. I thought I was looking at the top 3 cars, but it's not the top 3 cars.
Yeah.
It's in fact number 9, who is Vaxiver, who's got quite a big gap to Jafar, but just Jasmine Jafar in 6th position behind Vaxiver. As here we come, the first cars for the pit stops. These are quite.
Tiga, yes. Van Buren is the first one going to the pit stop.
Nice clean start. It looks like they're changing just the rear tires.
38 yang menyusul, saudara. Sedikit recap, seperti Anda bisa di layar saat ini, menyusul masuk ke pit stop, balap dengan mobil nomor 15 Series Pinion.
It's quite interesting because they have the option to change to at least change 2 tires.
Yeah.
They can't change 4 if they want, but 2 tires at least. This track is very hard on the rear tires, so you can see everyone is just changing the rear tires.
Okay, Sean Glyle right now at the 11th position because of everyone is already pit stop. So, what do you think about Sean's strategy? Did he should go to the pit stop too, or he can?
Yeah, I thought he's struggling to. I mean, he just set his fastest first sector of the race, 36.1. So I think that his tires are okay still. So I think he plans to stay out a bit longer before his pit stops. Back at the front, Oliver Rowland's increased his gap now.
Yeah.
3.3 seconds out from Nick De Vries.
Kembali ke depan, Oliver Rowland mempertahankan posisinya memimpin race di Spa dengan gap yang semakin lebar, yaitu 3,3 detik di depan De Vries.
You see behind Nick De Vries, Dean Stoneman has also fallen back a little bit. He was right on De Vries' gearbox, but now he's also dropped back. He's 2 seconds behind Nick De Vries, so it looks like the pack is spreading out just a little bit at the moment.
I think it's gonna be a battle between in the 3rd position, 4th position, and 5th position between Stoneman, Elinas, and Vaxiver. Do you think it's gonna be an impressive overtaking between 3 of drivers?
Yes, yeah. I think whoever pits first actually will have an advantage. Whoever can and this is why this championship is so good for Formula 1, because you can see the cars are so close together. But if they have a good pit stop, you can overtake your rivals in the pit lane.
Yeah.
And to have a good pit stop, you have to hit the marks perfectly, so the mechanic's job is easy to do. You have to go as soon as it's ready, like you just saw. And your lap into the pit stop and your lap out of the pit stop needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
All good practice in Formula 1.
Milos Arman baru saja keluar dari pit stop, saudara, saat ini berada di posisi ke-13. Dan yang menarik akan terjadi pertarungan antara posisi ketiga 45, yaitu Stoneman, Elinas, dan juga Vaxiver, di mana mereka posisinya saat ini begitu dekat dengan gap hanya 1 detik. Namun ini strategi pit stop lagi-lagi menentukan dari ketiga driver ini untuk memperebutkan podium ketiga. Sementara itu Oliver Rowland still going strong on the first position, followed by De Vries and Stoneman.
Dean Stoneman has set the fastest first sector of anyone so far, 35.2 on this lap. So he's actually looks like he's trying to close the gap a little to the 2 cars in front, although visually, from what we can see, the gap has not come down at all.
Dean Stoneman saat ini memegang untuk yang tercepat di section pertama, saudara, yang mencoba untuk mempertipis jarak dengan De Vries dan juga Rowland.
De Vries there, the number 1 car. Looks like we're getting ready for a pit stop.
Bisa Malia. Dan saat ini kita recap lagi, saudara, di mana 2 balap dari tim jagonya yang With Carlin, Sean Glyle, saat ini berada di posisi ke-10. Namun masih belum masuk ke pit stop, masih mempertahankan di saat para driver lain sudah masuk ke pit stop. Sean mempertahankan agar semakin dekat dengan 10 besar. The most important is one of the driver from jagonya ayam Tim Collin is to get the point because of Tom Dillman just got crashed.
And Sean's done a good job. He's up to 10th now. And his lap times are getting a lot better as well. I think he struggled in the early laps, but now he's just done a 2:03. So that's his fastest lap of the race. So he's starting to put some very impressive lap times now.
Oke, dan seperti terlihat dari catatan waktu sekarang, Sean Glyle juga tampaknya waktu lap putaran di sirkuitnya semakin baik. Apakah memang nanti Glyle kuncinya adalah konsistensi dan juga mempertahankan untuk catatan waktunya? Dan pastinya saat ini
Sean's actually lapping at the same lap time as the leaders now. So I wouldn't pit at all right now. He's doing a good job. The lap times are good. He's down in 10th place at the moment, 25, 26 seconds behind the leader. But now he's doing the same lap times. It's very good.
Ya, Alexi menyampaikan bahwa Sean Glyle mempertahankan catatan waktu yang sama dengan pemimpin saat ini Oliver Rowland. Jadi disarankan jangan dulu masuk pit stop untuk Sean Glyle selagi sedang baik performanya saat ini. Mengingat Tom Dillman yang harus mundur sampai dengan posisi ke-9 saat ini karena terjadi kecelakaan tadi di lap pertama, saudara. And this one is Fazibia on board, still battling for fourth and third position.
Jasmine comes in for his pit stop. Okay. Changing rear tires, let's have his pit stop. Pretty much perfect. Good stop for Jasmine. Now he needs to have a perfect out lap and maybe he can close the gap to Vaxiver. Vaxiver, who was challenging Ilinas for fourth position, he's actually getting closer to that guy.
Jasmine Jafar dari Vortec Motorsport yang baru saja masuk pit stop melakukan pit stop yang cukup baik, hanya dengan waktu kurang dari 11 detik, saudara. Dan saat ini dia akan kembali mengejar, mempertahankan posisinya masuk di 10 besar. Saat ini masih di posisi 8 mengejar untuk Fazibia.
Dean Stoneman is going to be next.
Dean Stoneman akan menyusul untuk masuk ke pit stop. As we can see, Rowland is still holding for first position and also not getting into the pit stop.
Yeah,
still not getting into the pit stop.
You know, Rowland here is driving with a very calm, and the car looks beautiful. He's got a very good balance in that car. It means the front axle is perfectly balanced with the rear axle. Because even though he's running low downforce, he's not the fastest in Sector 2, but he's still very fast compared to the cars around him in Sector 2, which he shouldn't be very fast at because he's running a low downforce setup. But, so it says to me the car is very well balanced. He's got a very good setup in that car, and as a driver, it's such a pleasure to drive a race car when it's like that.
So he gonna hold it because he got good setup for his car. Jadi memang Rowland mempertahankan karena memang dia mendapatkan setup yang sangat bagus, settingan yang bagus dari mobil saat ini, saudara. Meskipun dia menggunakan sayap yang lebih rendah dibandingkan driver lainnya, namun dia bisa mampu membuat gap yang lebar dengan De Vries. Jadi dia akan terus mempertahankan dan tidak akan masuk pit stop.
Here's Dean Stoneman in the pit stop like we predicted. Oh, very good pit stop. So good stop on the team, and he'll be out. So you're very pleased that you can see Sean on the right there going through just to do another lap as well. So that'd be a very good start for Dean. Now, if
De Vries.
Yeah, if Stoneman can have a very good out lap now, he might be able to get to De Vries. Back to the racing.
Dean Stoneman yang baru saja masuk pit stop.
He's the first of the leaders to stop after Jasmine Jafar. So this is the tough part of the race. Now there's 20 minutes left. So this is pretty much half distance, just over half distance.
As you can see, Sean Glyle is already on the 8th position. As I think it's the same strategy he used as Rowland because he got pretty nice setup.
Yes, and Sean's last lap was a 2:03.3, which is exactly the same as Nick De Vries, who also he did a 2:03.4. So Sean is putting in some good lap times, but he's going to have to start thinking about the pit stop pretty soon.
I think he's enjoying this lap with his setup car. Ya, saat ini Sean tampaknya menikmati settingan mobilnya, saudara, dan memang terlihat juga saat ini Sean juga masih belum masuk pit stop. Dan catatan waktunya semakin baik, di mana catatan lap terakhirnya sama dengan posisi kedua yaitu De Vries. Jadi memang semestinya sebagai pebalap di saat sedang nyaman dengan mobilnya, nikmati sampai dengan nanti memang harus ganti dan masuk ke pit stop.
See also the leaders. No, Max Verstappen still wants to do another lap. He's really pressuring Ilinas now for that third position. Was fourth, but now it's third position they're fighting for after Dean Stoneman came in for his pit stop. I wonder if he's close enough to try and slipstream him. If he can get a good exit out of Blasov, out of the hairpin here, he might be looking good.
Oke, seperti Anda lihat, saudara, seperti yang kita perkirakan juga tadi bahwa ini adalah battle untuk podium ketiga, di mana Vazive semakin mendekati posisi ketiga yaitu Ilinas.
As you go through a rouge, no, he's not quite close enough to make a challenge up into the comp.
Masih belum terlalu cepat nampaknya. What do you think about DRS in this? Every driver can use this strategy.
Yes, they do have the DRS, but we are seeing such different strategies with the rear wing. See, like this guy's Fantin here has got a very high rear wing. You know, when you have a big rear wing like that, it produces downforce, but it also produces a lot of drag. So the DRS does work, but when you have that much downforce, when the wing is that big, the effect is not as much. The DRS effect here is not as much as, say, a championship like Formula 1.
Ya, sayangnya memang DRS tampaknya tidak akan begitu berpengaruh besar bagi para driver saat ini, dimana kalau kita lihat sayap yang digunakan juga cukup besar. Dan terlebih para driver menggunakan sayap yang tinggi. Sedikit recap, saudara, saat ini Oliver Wahlman masih memimpin dengan gap.
This could be good for Dillman if they put out a safety car. There's a car stopped on the track. It's number 16, Visser. This is the lady driver. For some reason she's stopped. It must be a mechanical issue.
Satu-satunya pebalap wanita berasal dari Belanda yang saat ini posisi ke-19 yang harus berhenti mengalami masalah dengan mobilnya. Apabila ini terjadi safety car keluar, ini adalah kesempatan yang baik bagi Dillman.
I think you're going to see all the leaders come in and pit now because they're scared of a safety car. So all the leaders will come and pit now because if the safety car comes up now, it'll be a disaster for them because they have not done their mandatory pit stop.
I see. Jadi saat ini para pemimpin race sudah memasuki pit stop karena mereka sudah mengantisipasi apabila akan terjadi safe car yang masuk. Wow.
Yes, a bit slow with the clutch there. Stoneman, not a great start by him. A little bit messy. That's allowed Nick de Vries to close the gap. See how much closer he is. And let's look back, further back. Dean Stoneman just did a 203.2 on the last lap. So will he have done enough to jump Nick de Vries in the pit stop?
You also see Sean Glass going.
There is Stoneman. Is that? Yes, I think
Oliver Rowland.
No, that's Oliver Rowland. Sorry, that's Oliver Rowland. So he still maintains his lead. But look how close Dean Stoneman is to Nick de Vries. He's closed that gap significantly. So now Nick de Vries is on the cold tires.
It's a very long pit stop for Sean.
Sean also just did his pit stop. Unfortunately, had a problem with the change. Okay, looks like he might have lost a bit of time there.
Oke, tampaknya sebuah kerugian lagi bagi tim jagonya ayam, saudara. Baru saja Sean Glael yang harus tertunda karena pit stop yang cukup panjang. Dan saat ini Sean kembali mundur di posisi ke-10. Oliver Rowland still strong at the first position.
You can see there, you can visibly see how much these two cars behind him have closed up. Nick de Vries and Dean Stoneman have closed up the gap visibly. Is it now? The race can change now. You've coming to the end part of the race. The rubber is dripping up, and when you put on new tires like that, the balance of the car will change. So the drivers really have to be on top of what the balance change is like to see if they can get the most of it. So, for example, we know that Oliver Rowland had such a good car for the first half. Now he's got the new tires.
Yeah.
If it's destroyed his balance or upset it a little bit, it might allow these other cars a chance to catch him.
Oke. Oliver Rowland yang tadi baru saja masuk pit stop setelah di awal-awal yang sudah nyaman dengan mobil dan setupnya, namun harus menggunakan ban baru. Ini berarti sebuah adaptasi baru lagi. sekaligus sedikit kerugian bagi Oliver Rowland dan memberi kesempatan bagi para driver lain untuk mengejar dan mempersempit juga. Kita memasuki untuk laps ke-12. Oliver Rowland diikuti oleh De Vries dan Dean Stolman dengan gap 4 detik dari posisi pertama. Linas 4 detik di belakang Dean Stolman.
Max Verstappen has got a very good exit out of the source. He's going to have a go on Linas now through a rouge as they go. If he can just keep it flat, full throttle through there, which he should be able to. He did have a little bit of movement. Yes, he's definitely close enough. He's going to slipstream straight by.
Fazipia tampaknya mengejar Elias dan ini adalah overtaking yang dilakukan.
Yes.
He did it.
Yes, he's done the move.
Fazipia berhasil mendahului Alinas dan merebut posisi keempat. So, the next target for Fazipia is Dean Stolman at the third position, but it's I think it's quite far.
5 seconds behind Dean Stolman.
5 detik ternyata di belakang Dean Stolman. So, ya cukup jauh untuk Fazipia mengejar podium ketiga.
Panis in 7th position, look at the bottom of the board. He's just set his fastest lap of the race at 2:02.7. Very good lap. He's in 7th position, 2 seconds behind Jasmine Jafar. Could he get back at Jasmine and try and retake that position he lost to Jafar earlier on?
Ya, dan ini adalah di mana waktu-waktu terbaik dalam untuk melaksanakan pit stop yang dicetak oleh Latifi dengan waktu tercepat. Oliver Rowland masih mendominasi pertandingan balapan kali ini. Maksud kami di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps. Ini merupakan sirkuit yang dicintai oleh para driver karena memang banyak ada track lurus yang cukup panjang merupakan dan juga lebarnya jalanan, dan sekarang di musim kali ini jauh lebih aman sekaligus para driver juga lebih nyaman untuk memacu mobilnya. Namun yang kita baru saksikan tadi adalah baru pertama kali bagi GBR yang melakukan overtaking.
So look at Nick De Vries' car. Does that the color scheme look familiar to you? If it does, if it looks like a McLaren, that's because it is supposed to look like a McLaren. Nick De Vries is one of the McLaren's junior drivers, just like Dean Stolman is one of the Red Bull junior drivers. So it's quite interesting to see the color schemes. Oliver Rowland out in front though is not yet associated with the Formula 1 team, but these two drivers are. You could arguably say this is McLaren versus Red Bull, second position.
Ini yang kita lihat saat ini, saudara, adalah battle untuk posisi kedua. Dari desain mobil yang dilihat saat ini adalah Red Bull, bagikan Red Bull melawan McLaren di Formula 1. Tapi memang kedua driver ini juga merupakan driver junior dari Red Bull. Untuk Dean Stolman dan De Vries adalah driver junior bagi McLaren.
Let's talk about this a bit. So Stolman gets sideways through Pouillon. He would have had to back out of it big time there. You can see he's lost. He just went too aggressive through that corner there. But let's just talk about these drivers. They're trying to go to Formula 1. You know, last year the Red Bull back driver in this very championship, driving the very car Dean Stolman is driving right now, was Carlos Sainz Jr.
Carlos Sainz Jr., yeah.
And he won the championship last year, and now he's driving the Formula 1 for Red Bull. So that's what happens. These other guys, if they do a good job, they have a good chance of being in Formula 1 the following year. Oh, and here's a driver who's in Formula 1 right now, Roberto Mehi. He's got some sort of issue. They've had to retire the car.
Roberto Mehi menghadapi masalah di mobilnya yang tampaknya harus berhenti melanjutkan ini, dan ini adalah salah satunya driver di Formula 3.5 by Renault ini yang juga membalap di Formula 1. Dan tadi sempat kita berbincang tentang dua driver dari di posisi kedua dan ketiga, De Vries dan juga Stolman, di mana mereka berdua ini yang nantinya diproyeksikan akan membalap di Formula 1 untuk tim Red Bull sendiri dan juga McLaren, di mana mobil Red Bull yang dikendarai oleh Dean Stolman saat ini adalah mobil yang sebelumnya dikendarai oleh Carlos Sainz Jr. yang saat ini berlaga di Formula 1.
Let's look at the championship right now as well. Oliver Rowland, who was third, I think, in the championship before this race starts. He's just been up to the championship in the lead now.
Yeah.
Or is Vaxivier in 4th position enough to hold on the championship. Anyway, it's going to get very close at the top of the championship. It really is looking very close. You've got these guys. Unfortunately, Tom Dillman, who was 5th in the championship, is not going to. It's going to be very hard to score points for him today.
Yes, Tom Dillman sangat sulit untuk bisa maju. Baru saat ini masih jauh berada di posisi ke-17 akibat insiden yang terjadi. Dan sedikit review kembali kita bahwa saat ini sisa waktu hanya 9 menit dan sudah 14 laps yang dijalankan oleh para pembalap. Jadi semakin besar kesempatan bagi Roland untuk menjuarai race kedua di Spa Francorchamps kali ini. Diikuti oleh De Vries dan juga Stoneman, namun kita tidak lupa untuk posisi ketiga masih semakin sempit jarak antara posisi 2 dan 3. De Vries dan juga Stoneman hanya terpaut kurang dari 2 detik gap yang tercipta. As we can see,
Oh
there's
wow!
not a battle here.
Stoneman with the bigger rear wing has used it to do good advantage to be fast through sector 2. Now he's all over Nick De Vries. Oh, gearbox, is he going to try and dive down the inside into the Buskirk chicane? He is! Nick De Vries doesn't defend. And Dean Stoneman, oh, he's locked up. He's gone too hot. It's allowed Nick De Vries to get back at him. Will Nick be able to get back at him? They're side by side into turn 1 with Source hairpin.
Okay, so Vaxivier is now on the third position.
Apologies. I was talking, I thought this was Stoneman and De Vries, but it was actually Vaxivier.
Yeah, they battle for the second position.
3rd position. So now Vaxivier is 3rd position. 3rd. He's taken Stoneman for 4th position. I thought this was Stoneman versus De Vries. Apologies there. But Stoneman is trying to come back at Vaxivier into the calm. Trying around the outside. No, he's not far enough alongside. Vaxivier is now to 3rd position.
Pertarungan masih sengit untuk battle dari posisi ketiga. Pertarungan antara Vaxivier dan Stoneman yang tampaknya mereka juga masih gap yang sangat sempit. Bisa dilihat di layar saat ini, Sport Lovers, bahwa memang sangat dekat sekali jarak, dan ini yang terjadi tadi antara Vaxivier dan juga Stoneman, di mana akhirnya Vaxivier berhasil melampaui Stoneman.
Vaxivier does a very good job there. He outbraked himself, but he still managed to keep it on the track, just enough so he could keep the lead. Because if he had gone off track, he would have had to give the position back to Stoneman. He cannot overtake and go off the track.
Oke, jadi Vaxivier menjalankan taktik yang luar biasa sempurna, mempertahankan jalurnya, di mana tentunya memaksa Stoneman untuk tidak bisa mendahului dari sisi kirinya.
Now we talked about low downforce and high downforce, with advantages and disadvantages. There's another disadvantage of running low downforce, which is you slide around more and you wear out the tires. So I can see Stoneman, sliding around more. Vaxivier has got maximum downforce. I wonder if he's now using the tires better. The tires are lasting longer. If he can close the gap to that car in the background. Yes, he has. He's closed the gap a lot to Nick De Vries. You see how much closer he is to Nick De Vries in second position.
Jadi sebuah strategi juga dan setup yang baik dari mobilnya Vaxivier, di mana dia menggunakan maximum downforce begitu dengan banding cukup baik. Karena memang kalau misalnya menggunakan low downforce berarti akan memakan banyak, cepat menghabiskan ban saat ini, seperti yang diperlihatkan oleh Dean Stoneman. Vaxivier saat ini memangkas semakin sempit waktunya, catatan waktu Vaxivier dan De Vries untuk mengejar posisi kedua.
Vaxivier's last lap is a 2:03.3. Almost a second quicker than Nick De Vries. So Nick De Vries, there's 6 minutes left. He's got a bat on his hand if he wants to try and keep second position.
6 menit tersisa bagi Nick De Vries untuk mempertahankan posisinya, di mana Vaxivier dengan mobil yang cukup impresif is getting closer actually.
He's getting a lot closer.
Ya, di mana sebelumnya di lap ke-15 hanya terpaut 5 detik dan kali ini memangkas kurang dari 4 detik. Sport Lovers.
Further back, other drivers with low downforce, which is like Jasmine Jafar, has panics all over his back as well. So quite a few cars up and down the field with low downforce setting are struggling now. They're really struggling to keep doing the lap times because their tires have gone off.
Struggling is shown by Tom Dillman to right there at the 16th position before 17th position. Yeah, perjuangan juga cukup ditunjukkan oleh Tom Dumoulin yang saat ini baru saja overtaking dari Bonifacio.
See, look how much closer. He's now in the slipstream. Not close enough to overtake.
Saat ini gap hanya kurang dari 2 detik antara Vazivier dan juga De Vries yang mengejar untuk battle pertarungan di posisi kedua. It's getting closer.
Yes, you can see Nick De Vries struggling to make the
Yeah.
apex there. Vaxivier is going to have him. Oh, look, Stallman's made a mistake as well at the last. They're really struggling for grip right now. Whew. Didn't
Yeah.
expect Stallman to go off there.
Semua masalah ditunjukkan dari he's tired, right? Because of the driver.
Tires are just going off. Some very wide faces in the pit lane. Now, Nick De Vries has got the low downforce. It's been very hard for Vaxivier to overtake him here. He'll just extend his gap. You can see that he's starting to pull out the gap with that smaller rear wing. Vaxivier is just not close enough. But now, after coming to the end of the first sector, we're coming to the second sector. The second sector is where Vaxivier will close the gap. You can see, now we're in the corners. They have to break through the corners. You can see Vaxivier close the gap. See how much he's closed the gap already.
Ini adalah battle untuk posisi kedua di mana masuki seksi kedua, saudara, dan ini adalah yang mempersempit jarak. Kalau misalnya kita lihat tadi di track lurus, Vazivier tidak mampu mobilnya mengejar De Vries, namun saat ini di mana banyak tikungan, ini adalah kesempatan bagi Vazivier untuk bisa overtaking De Vries dan
Now watch him coming up to Pouillon right now. This is a very fast corner. This is going to be Vaxivier's sort of corner. If he can get a good run out this corner, he can try and go down the inside of Nick De Vries at the pit path. This next corner, will he have a go?
Will he do the same thing just like he do with Dean Stallman, I think?
Yes, he's very racing, very aggressive. This is the sort of racing I love to see.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, now Vaxivier has to get a good exit out of this corner. This corner is of course Stavelot and Combe Porfer. Now, if is he close enough in the slipstream? I'm not sure if he's close enough. Can he get close enough?
Vazivier only jams only in the turn.
Yes.
On the second section, I think.
Because he's not close enough, because he's got the high downforce, he's not closing the gap. He's got to be a lot closer if he wants to get a hold of the slipstream. And so break for the bus stop chicane. The last corner, we see how Nick De Vries is struggling to make the apex. Can Vaxivier get him now into turn 1? He's definitely close enough to try and have a go into turn 1. See Nick De Vries, he's going to cover the inside. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does cover the inside. Vaxivier goes to the outside. Wow, it's close. Who's going to get a good exit out of now?
Pertarungan sengit antara Vazivier dan De Vries yang masih mampu mempertahankan dari kejaran Vazivier di turning pertama tadi.
If Vaxivier's close enough now, he's in the slipstream. Now he's going to get the slipstream on Nick De Vries here, but what can he overtake? That is the question.
Apakah dia mampu karena memang ini sangat dekat dan
he's trying to go on the outside, but he's got too much drag. That rear wing is too big. It's slowing him down. So even though he can get the slipstream, he can't overtake. He's going to have to try and get Nick De Vries in a different part of the track.
Ya, saat ini dia masih sulit untuk mendahului De Vries karena memang De Vries menghalangi dan tidak ada kesempatan bagi Vazivier untuk mengambil pada saat tikungan meskipun ini adalah track yang cukup lebar bagi para driver. Tapi masih di sisa waktu 1 menit, apakah Vazivier mampu memperebutkan posisi kedua? Sementara Oliver Rowland masih dengan nyaman melenggang di posisi pertama. It's getting fall now, 5 seconds with the first position.
Yes, Oliver Rowland's loving this battle between these two guys because it's allowing him to pull up a gap. Okay, now Vaxivier has another chance here. It's all about this corner here. He needs to be close enough because it's a long straight after this. He does get close enough. Can he be flat through this next corner? Oh.
I think we can just wait who between these two guys is getting to do the wrong things. Yeah. Small things.
Any small mistake right now will be punished. And again, see Nick De Vries' low downforce setups allowing him to pull up the gap. But let's see if he makes another mistake. He made a mistake 2 corners, 2 laps ago here, and the last lap. No, he's kept the car clean, but Vaxivier still has closed the gap. He's watched Dean Stallman go through on his way to what seems like an easy win for him. But Vaxivier, no, he's still not quite close enough. It's going to be very tough for him. Nick De Vries doing a very good job on tires that are obviously past their best.
Okay, I think this is the last lap for the driver. waktu sudah habis bagi para pembalap, berarti menyisakan satu lap terakhir, putaran terakhir bagi Vazivier untuk mengejar De Vries. Do you think he can make it?
I don't think so. Nick De Vries driving very smart here. He doesn't have the car under him right now. His tires are shot. And I think Vaxivier's blown his chance. He had that one chance, and I think Nick De Vries has him under control. Let's look further back. A train of cars coming. Jasmine Jafar there. Low downforce. I think he's also struggling with the tires because his lap times aren't very good at the moment.
Ya, saat ini Vazivier juga melewatkan kesempatannya tadi pada saat untuk overtaking, meskipun De Vries yang dengan pintarnya mempertahankan dan menutupi jalur daripada Vazivier untuk mendahului. Seperti yang terjadi pada Jasmine Jafar yang juga berjuang dengan bannya yang semakin menipis karena sayap downforce yang digunakan saat ini juga rendah. Sedikit recap saudara, saat ini Oliver Wallace masih memimpin tentunya, dan juga diikuti De Vries di posisi kedua, Vazivier yang memepet De Vries. Di posisi ketiga ada Dean Stolman 4, Alinas di grid ke-6, Alinas di grid ke-5, Jafar 6, Tanis 7, Van Tin 8, Oruzev 9, dan Van Buren at the 10th position. Sean Glenn right now is in the 12th position, Tom Dillman in the 16th. Sean Glenn di posisi ke-12 dan Tom Dillman ke-16 saat ini. Ini adalah les menuju lap terakhir bagi para driver di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps. Still, battle for the second position masih menarik karena memang masih sangat sempit dan sedikit gap antara kedua driver ini. Still struggling, I think.
Yes, Vaxivier's close enough though. He's just got to nail the braking here. Just brake as late as possible, get right on the gearbox of De Vries, and somehow get on the throttle earlier. If you can, oh look, De Vries had a little squiggle. A little bit of oversteer that exit. Is that enough to allow Vaxivier to get close enough? No, it doesn't look like it.
Here comes the last lap for the drivers. Ini adalah sekaligus kesempatan terakhir bagi Vazivier untuk merebut posisi kedua. Namun tampaknya semakin lebar jarak yang ditunjukkan oleh De Vries dan Vazivier.
I think Vaxivier, he's got one more chance. After he goes to this second sector, he's got to do it on the last corner of this lap. I think that would be his last chance to overtake De Vries.
It's gonna be hard in the second section, right?
Oh, Stolman defending from Ineos for 4th position. He's just managed to hold on to 4th position. And look who's just behind him, Jasmine Jafar. Could this end in tears?
Ooh.
Stolman is really struggling for grip right now. Look, he's struggling to make the apex, even for this corner here, this hairpin.
Ya, grip dari Van Stolman tapi yang bermasalah, yang karena saat ini terancam oleh Alinas dan juga Jasmine Jafar. So this is gonna be interesting in the last lap, I think.
Yeah, so go through Pouillon right now, and then it's coming up. Is he close enough? Oh, he's not quite close enough to make a run into Pif Paf here. Looks to have underhand. It's the same thing. He like Vaxivier just a couple hundred meters up the road. He needs to have good exit out of his last corner. Stavelot and then Combe Porfrere. If he has a good exit out there, maybe he's got a chance of out-dragging him to the last corner. As you watch the race leader, Oliver Rowland, as he's only got 2 more corners to navigate before the end of the race. And
2 tikungan lagi yang akan dihadapi Oliver Rowland. Selain itu, dia adalah juara dari Spa-Francorchamps, followed by De Vries and Vazivier. Here comes the winner, Oliver Rowland. Good job, De Vries and Vazivier.
oh, look at that contact!
Jasmine Jafar, I think.
Yes, Jasmine Jafar tried to have it go. I think Dean Stolman was defending from Ilinas, and Rowland and Jasmine Jafar had to try to have it go. But they all managed to make it across the line.
Ya. Sedikit sentuhan tadi dari Jasmine Jafar kita akan lihat dari tayangan ulang. Namun saat ini para driver sudah memasuki finish. Oliver Rowland akhirnya menjuarai race kedua di Spa-Francorchamps, diikuti oleh De Vries dan juga Vazivier. Ketiga driver ini akhirnya masuk sebagai juara dan naik ke podium di sirkuit Spa. Here comes the winner, Oliver Rowland.
Slightly unusual thing they have here is they don't allow the drivers to do one cool down lap. Because the lap is so long, 7 kilometers, they just bring it straight back into the pit lane.
No celebration, I think. Ya, jadi memang para driver setelah finish langsung masuk ke pit stop karena memang ini adalah sirkuit yang cukup panjang, jadi akan memakan cukup waktu untuk lap pendinginan ibaratnya. Dan ini adalah pemenang Oliver Rowland dari Vortec Motorsports. So Vortex is getting stronger for the classement in the team championships. Yeah.
Vortec will be very happy with that.
Dimana Oliver Rowland setelah saat ini berada di posisi ke-3 untuk championship.
This will put Oliver Rowland back into the championship lead, won't it? With Vaxaver second, Jasmine Jafar should still hold on to third. Good haul of points from Nick De Vries as well. Should put him up ahead of Tom Dillman into 5th position.
Ya, sedikit klasemen sementara untuk championship setelah hasil race kedua ini, kemungkinan Oliver Rowland akan naik memimpin klasemen sementara untuk championship driver, diikuti Jasmine Jafar, Vaxivier, Dean Stallman dan Tom Dillman. Namun kita tahu saat ini Tom Dillman hanya mampu finish di posisi ke-16 dan juga pebalap rookie tim jagonya yang with Carlin ada Sean Glyle. Dan saudara, kita akan kembali. Itu dia akhirnya para pebalap yang berhasil naik ke podium, yaitu Oliver Rowland, De Vries, dan Vaxivier. Kita akan kembali untuk penyerahan trofi sekaligus lagu kebangsaan. Jadi tetap di Kompas TV, selesai jeda kami kembali. Terima kasih masih di Kompas TV, dan baru saja kita sudah menyelesaikan race kedua, seri ketiga di sirkuit Spa-Francorchamps. Oliver Rowland yang menjuarai Alexium. What do you think about this race?
Very well judged race by Oliver Rowland. He's with Vortec Motorsports, very good race team. The car balance was key. He had such a good car balance. He just controlled the race in the front very well. Here's Nick De Vries coming to take second place. Nick, you know, the others just didn't quite have the pace, but De Vries, you know, even with some race fans, even with the low downforce, he didn't quite have the tires for it. And this guy, Vaxiver, was pressuring him. Sorry, this is Oliver Rowland himself, sorry. And then Vaxiver pressuring Nick De Vries for the win, for second place.
So it was a good battle between De Vries and Vaxivier here.
Yes, it was a good battle in the end.
Okay.
Ya, ketiga pembalap sudah menaiki podium, dan tentunya kita akan segera bergabung kembali ke sana untuk lagu kebangsaan bagi sang juara Oliver Rowland.
Victoria for Oliver Rowland, second place for Nick De Vries, third place for Mathieu Vaxivier, the Maxime Sporting Foundation from the back rookie, et c'est monsieur Nick De Vries. On y va avec la cérémonie trophée, avec pour la troisième place Guillaume Moisson, directeur des marques chez Renault.
Yes, ini waktunya untuk penyerahan bagi para juara. I think so.
You almost missed.
Yeah, and you can see just in the background, Max Verstappen is there as well, the Formula One driver with Red Bull Racing. He's part of the ceremony as well. As Renault Sport boss, giving second position.
Second position, okay. To De Vries.
And here comes the champion, Oliver Rowland from Great Britain, the British man for Vortec Motorsports. Full point, 25 points on the race 2 at Spa-Francorchamps. Oliver Rowland.
Jamie from Vortec receiving his award. Well done. best possible result for Fortec, really. First, and considering, let's not forget, Oliver Roland's teammate, Jansen Jafar. What a great race from him. He started last, and he finished sixth. As there you go, Max Verstappen, giving a trophy to Nick De Vries. They know each other very well from the karting days. I must say, out of maybe the last 10, even 20 years, Nick De Vries here on the far left, and Max Verstappen is in Formula One now, as the youngest ever Formula One driver ever, are probably the two outstanding talents in karts over the last 10 years for sure. Really, really, really outstanding. And all three of these drivers, right, you see there, have a good, bright future ahead of them. Interesting to see which ones, or if maybe all of them will make Formula One, which one will go on to have good success.
Which one do you think will make it to Formula One?
I think Nick De Vries is who's second there. You know, he's got McLaren's backing. He's had very good success. People earmarked him, but also Oliver Rowland. You know, he's backed by Racing Steps Foundation in the UK. They really support their drivers there very well. Give them a good budget to go racing, and hey, you know, the future's limitless. You know, it's a very tough championship. Every year they got good drivers. You see them go to Formula One and do well. As we watch the highlights from race 2.
Ya, ini adalah highlight sedikit tadi yang terjadi di race kedua kali ini, di mana sebuah bisa bilang ini sebuah kesialan bagi Tom Dillman karena insiden yang terjadi di mana dia bersentuhan dengan sayap dari pemain di belakangnya yang memaksa Tom Dillman harus mundur dan juga masuk pit stop untuk mengganti kedua bannya. Yeah, this one is for championships.
Championship, to how close it's gotten up there. Oliver Rowland now leading the championship, but less than 23 points separating the top 4.
Yeah,
it's Sean there in 15th position.
15.
Fortunately, he was unable to add to his score today, but you know, for me, there were phases in the race where he was very good. You know, the middle part of the race, he was very strong. Fortunately, he lost too much time in the first few laps, so the gap was quite big and couldn't quite close the gap after that. But I think he'll be very pleased with the middle phase of the race.
Oke, berarti sebenarnya untuk Sean sendiri bisa lebih baik, tapi tadi awal-awal mungkin sedikit kesulitan saja.
I think there's a mistake in the pit stop because of
of course, the pit stop as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Prevented him from having any chance of a top 10 finish.
Yeah.
But still, you know, he's making good progress every time I see him race, so it's good to see him.
He should. For a rookie, he should.
Dan pasti nanti akan lebih seru lagi karena kita akan bagi hadiah, betul ya? Jadi untuk sports lovers di rumah, di akhir segmen nanti akan mendapatkan Rp1 juta persembahan dari KFC kalau beruntung. Nah, langsung aja telepon 536-500-77 dan juga 536-533-55. Jangan kemana-mana, kita akan kembali lagi di Formula Renault 3.5.
Kembali ke Formula Renault 3.5 Series Kompas TV dan ini saatnya bagi-bagi hadiah.
Bagi-bagi hadiah, benar sekali. Dan pastinya udah ada yang siap untuk bagi-bagi hadiah. Ada yang cantik banget, langsung aja yuk. Ini dia Ray Utami, silahkan.
Terima kasih rekan saya yang cantik dan juga ganteng Felis dan Hilyani. Hai pemirsa atau sport lovers, apa kabar? Ketemu lagi dengan saya Ray Utami dalam kuis interaktif World Series Formula 3.5. Ray mau bagi-bagi hadiah nih, persembahan dari KFC Rp1 juta dipotong pajak. Cara gimana sih Re? Langsung aja telepon ke sini sama Re di studio, nomor teleponnya 021 5365 0077 atau di 021 5365 3355. Jangan lupa ada passwordnya, begitu Ray bilang Gelailais, langsung dijawab dengan lantang dan semangat menjadi yang terdepan. Apakah sudah ada penelpon? Gelailais. 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 Menjadi yang terdepan. Yuk, Rp1 juta dipotong pajak persembahan dari KFC. Gelailais.
Menjadi yang terdepan.
Cakep, dengan siapa di mana?
Ari di Banjarmasin. Oke, pertanyaannya gampang sekali. Dalam World Series Formula Renault 3.5 di seri ketiga ini, di manakah tim jagonya ayam bertanding? Apakah A, Spa Belgia ataukah B, Sepakat Belgia? Atau B, Pak? A atau B?
A, Spa Belgia.
Yakin? Kalau begitu jawabannya benar. Selamat yang mendapatkan 1 juta rupiah. Dan hadiah ini dipersembahkan oleh... Iya, jangan lupa ya pemenangnya hadiahnya dipotong pajak. Oke, Ray Utami sudah selesai membagikan hadiah. Jangan lupa jangan ditutup dulu karena akan ada pendataan ulang dari tim Kompas TV. Dan Ray Utami sudah selesai. Ketemu lagi di World Series Formula Renault 3.5 berikutnya. Sekarang tugas Ray kembalikan lagi nih ke rekan saya yang cantik dan ganteng di sudut sana. Ada Hilyani dan Felis. Dah.
Terima kasih Ray dan juga selamat buat sport lovers yang sudah mendapatkan uang cash. Jangan lupa ya, sebagai warga yang taat harus bayar
pajak
kepada kita.
Oh,
bukan pemerintah.
Takdir kita kalau gitu ya.
Tidak lupa, kita masih bersama Alex Yung di sini, sang mantan pebalap F1 yang juga sekarang masih membalap. Tadi juga kita sudah commenting juga selama race tampaknya seru sekali, cukup seru untuk Spa-Francorchamps di sini. Memang hasilnya juga beberapa kali terjadi battle. Namun only one overtaking I see from Xavier.
So yes, yeah. I mean, there wasn't as many moves as you're never going to see overtaking like MotoGP for cars.
Okay.
You know, I mean, MotoGP you always get a lot more overtaking, but there was overtaking opportunities. But there was some very good defending. You know, it's not just all it was about attacking; it's whether you can defend the position, and that's why I enjoyed the race because there was some very good defending. You know, Nick De Vries, that action. You know. The way he was defending from Xavier like that was very careful. The way he was covering his line, even when he missed the apex sometimes, he was very calm and collected. So I enjoyed the racecraft, you know, racecraft maybe not so much overtaking, but there's still a lot of good racecraft.
Oke, jadi kalau overtaking tidak terlalu banyak, tapi tetap menyenangkan juga untuk ditonton ya.
Karena memang ada seninya. Seninya tidak hanya overtaking. Memang di sini dicintai oleh para driver karena tracknya yang panjang dan lurus yang bisa memacu kecepatan. Namun seninya yang ditunjukkan oleh De Vries tadi, kalau misalnya Anda menyaksikan, kita kembali sedikit bahwa lebih dari 5 menit mampu mempertahankan posisinya setelah dipepet oleh Xavier dan akhirnya dia tetap finish di posisi kedua. So, what do you think about another? Maybe I think this too premature for us to talking about the championship, but for the World Series, we go to Hungary.
Hungary is the next race. Well, that's a completely different track. It's like Monaco because it's so tight and twisty. There we will see no overtaking. It's all going to be about qualifying. So, you know, for the guys who have not qualified so well, they really need to nail qualifying. If they so people who are quick in Monaco should be quick in Hungary. So Jasmine will be quick. Oliver Rowland will be quick. Xavier will be quick. You know, Tom will be quick. Tom will be very quick actually. This could be a good track for Tom actually.
Okay.
So it's a very tight and twisty, very stop and start. So it's all going to be about qualifying.
So do you think the racers who perform well in Monaco, they will perform well as well in Hungary?
That's what generally happens.
Okay.
So they also have to perform in the qualifying, so he can get good grade, good position, so he can manage it to the race. Ya, memang seperti penjelasan dari Alex Yung tadi bahwa yang mempertahankan grid posisi di Hungaroring nantinya itu pun juga kemungkinan besar akan menyelesaikan finish yang sama. Jadi pada saat pole juga akan finish sebagai juara dan naik ke... Kita akan lihat nanti apakah memang Tom Dillman karena masih akan terjadi pada bulan depan. Dan sekarang yang sudah pasti di depan mata, ini ada keseruan dari nonton bareng.
Ya, keseruan suasana nonton bareng di Yogyakarta dan Jakarta. Kita sapa dulu Rahel yang berada di Yogyakarta. Rahel, bagaimana keseruannya?
Dan Felis, saat ini saya masih berada di KFC Sudirman, Kota Yogyakarta, dan para Gelailais yang di sini tidak menurunkan intensitas semangat dari mereka. Mereka bahkan masih bertahan di sini untuk nonton bareng bahkan hingga race selesai. Dan saat ini saya sudah bersama dengan Gelailais, salah satu Gelailais yang sudah siap memberikan testimoninya. Langsung saja kita berbicara dengan Mas Rian. Mas Rian, gimana nih tanggapannya tentang Sean Gelail yang ikut World Series Formula Renault 3.5?
Ya, menurut saya Sean Gelail ini udah baik ya untuk bisa tampil di kancah dunia. sehingga bisa mengharumkan nama Indonesia di mata dunia gitu.
Harapannya untuk Sean Gelael di race selanjutnya mungkin?
Mungkin untuk race selanjutnya saya berharap si Sean Gelael bisa meraih podium dan untuk ke jenjang berikutnya, ke F1 berikutnya.
Terima kasih Mas Rian dan Sport Lovers juga pemirsa yang ada di rumah. Para Gelaelas yang ada di sini juga sangat semangat bahkan sampai race selesai, dan kemeriahan yang ada di sini tidak hanya terjadi di kota Yogyakarta karena rekan saya Ratri Kartika punya laporan langsung dari arena nonton bareng yang diselenggarakan di kota Jakarta. Silakan Ratri.
KFC Margonda tidak kalah seru dari KFC Sudirman Yogyakarta karena di sini para Gelaelas setelah menyaksikan race World Series Formula Renault 3.5 sekarang sudah menyaksikan penampilan dari Andin, di mana Andin telah menyanyikan 2 lagu untuk menghibur para Gelaelas yang ada di sini. Dan namun sebelum saya mengakhiri keseruan dari acara nonton bareng World Series Formula Renault 3.5, kita akan tanya dengan salah satu Gelaelas mengenai penampilan tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin. Dengan siapa?
Maitra Wira.
Wira, menurut kamu penampilan tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin dalam race ketiga ini seperti apa?
Menurut saya menarik ya dan seru juga.
Bagaimana dengan penampilan tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin sendiri?
Ya maksudnya untuk kedepannya sih, untuk sesi berikutnya tetap optimis saja ya, untuk menjadi yang nomor 1 pastinya.
Kemudian kalau melihat acara Nobaris ini, World Series Formula Renault 3.5 digelar di KFC Margonda ini, menurut kamu seperti apa?
Oh, dari tadi sore sampai malam acaranya tetap seru ya, dari itu dan juga diundang artis-artis gini juga sih.
Oke, terima kasih Wira atas waktunya. Ya, dan Sport Lovers, semoga tim jagonya Ayam selalu optimis untuk di race-race berikutnya heading to the top. Kembali ke Hilyani dan Felix di studio.
Terima kasih Rahel dan juga Ratri di Jogja dan juga di Depok, Jawa Barat. Tampaknya yang di Depok lebih santai
Tadi
sudah
santai.
menikmati.
Iya. Tapi seru banget ya, ada Andin loh perform langsung di Nobar.
Kemarin ada Rio Febrian. Kita lihat nanti bulan depan untuk race seri keempat di Hungary ya. Kira-kira siapa nanti yang akan menghibur para nonton bareng untuk Formula Renault 3.5 ini. Dan tentunya untuk race kedua di seri ketiga di Spa-Francorchamps kali ini kita harus pamit undur karena udah di ujung acara ya.
Ya, betul sekali.
Thank you very much for your
Alex,
coming here.
Thank you so much for coming.
for having me.
Yeah, of course we can see at another race.
Another race.
Yes, of
Sure.
course after this we're going to Hungary.
Yes. Can't wait.
Yes, so we should. Terima kasih sekali lagi Alexium dan juga waktunya saya Feliciano Haryanto.
Dan saya Hilyani Hidanto pamit undur diri.
Kita ketemu lagi bulan Juni tanggal 12 dan 14 untuk 2 race di Hungary.
Yes.
Terima kasih, sampai jumpa dan jangan lupa salam Kompas Sport.